Have you ever looked at your child and felt, there is something very different about the way this child thinks, but I cannot put a name to it? You see the intelligence. You see the sensitivity. You see the sharpness. You see the mood shifts, the curiosity, the hidden depth, the creative spark, the sudden withdrawal, the emotional reactions, the unusual questions, the way your child observes people, the way your child speaks, the way your child picks up things nobody taught directly. But then the school system gives you only one narrow mirror: marks, grades, ranks, performance. And suddenly, a deeply intelligent child is reduced to a report card. That is where intelligence mapping becomes powerful, because your child may not be weak, your child may simply be misread. Today, I want to take you into an actual intelligence mapping case study. I will use an imaginary name. Let us call her Jennifer. And as I walk you through Jennifer's chart, I want you to listen not only as a parent, but as a guide, because this is not about predicting a child's future blindly. This is about decoding the child's intelligence architecture using planetary placement as the diagnostic engine. Not personality labels, not casual guesswork, not she is good at studies or he is not focused. This system goes deeper. It asks, where is the mind wired? Where is the emotional intelligence flowing? Where is the child's natural joy? Where is the hidden genius? Where will the child feel connected to the world? Jennifer's chart gives us a powerful example. She has Libra rising, with the sun in Libra in the first house. Her moon is Amatya Karaka in Aquarius in the fifth house. Her Saturn is Atma Karaka in Virgo in the 12th house. Mercury, Venus, and Rahu sit together in Scorpio in the second house. Mars is in Leo in the 11th house. Jupiter is in Aries in the 7th house. Ketu is in Taurus in the 8th house. Now, if you are new to this system, do not get lost in the technical names. Let me simplify. Each planet becomes a diagnostic marker. Each sign shows the style of intelligence. Each house shows the field where that intelligence wants to operate. The planet is the force. The sign is the behavior. The house is the life area. And when you correlate all three, you begin to see the real intelligence map of the child. That is why this system is superior and direct, because it does not simply ask, is the child intelligent? It asks, what kind of intelligence is this child carrying, and where will that intelligence become useful, joyful, and successful? Now look at Jennifer. Libra rising immediately tells me this child does not experience life in isolation. She is relational. She observes people. She notices tone. She notices fairness. She notices whether someone is ignored, appreciated, rejected, included, or emotionally mishandled. This is not random sensitivity. This is interpersonal intelligence. When the sun sits in the first house in Libra, the identity itself begins to operate through balance, aesthetics, social awareness, presentation, and diplomacy. Jennifer is likely to be very aware of how she appears to others. She may want harmony. She may dislike harshness. She may be affected by criticism. She may try to adjust herself so people feel comfortable. Now, as a parent, you may misunderstand this. You may say, why is she so affected by people? But through intelligence mapping, I would say no. Do not suppress this. Refine it. Because this same sensitivity can become counseling ability, relationship intelligence, client handling ability, mediation skill, teaching presence, or leadership through emotional awareness. This child is not here to bulldoze people. She is here to understand people. That is her first intelligence marker. Now we go deeper. Jennifer has Mercury, Venus, and Rahu and Scorpio in the second house. The second house is speech, voice, perception, memory, family values, and the way the child sees and expresses the world. Mercury gives language. Venus gives beauty, taste, artistic refinement. Rahu amplifies, magnetizes, and makes the expression unconventional. But all of this is happening in Scorpio. And Scorpio is not light conversation. Scorpio is depth. Scorpio is hidden psychology. Scorpio is secrets. Scorpio is trauma, transformation, emotional intensity, research, occult, investigation, and the ability to see what others are trying to hide. So what kind of intelligence does this create? This creates deep linguistic intelligence. Not just talking, not just writing, not just memorizing words. This is the kind of child who may speak with emotional impact. She may ask uncomfortable questions. She may observe what people do not say. She may be drawn to mystery, psychology, hidden motives, emotional stories, taboo subjects, healing, astrology, relationships, and transformation. You may notice that this child does not enjoy shallow explanations. If you tell her, just do this because I said so, she may not be satisfied. She wants to know why, but not only the surface why. She wants the deeper why. Why did that person behave like this? Why do people lie? Why do relationships hurt? Why does someone smile but feel sad inside? Why does a family repeat the same pattern? This is not overthinking. This is psychological intelligence waking up. And because Mercury is involved, she can give language to it. Because Venus is involved, she can make it beautiful. Because Rahu is involved, she can make it magnetic, modern, bold, and even viral if trained properly. This is why I would never force a child like Jennifer into a purely dry, repetitive academic route without meaning. She may do it, she may pass, she may even score. But will her intelligence feel alive? That is the real question. Now look at the moon. Jennifer's moon is Amacha Karaka in Aquarius in the 5th house. In this system, Amacha Karaka is extremely important because it shows the career intelligence, the skill path, the way the child's ability can become useful in the world. Moon as Amacha Karaka already points to emotional intelligence, nurturing, psychology, community, care, counseling, and the ability to connect with the emotional needs of others. But this moon is in Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign of systems, networks, innovation, technology, social reform, future thinking, collective intelligence, and humanitarian ideas. And the moon is placed in the 5th house. The 5th house is creativity, education, children, memory, learning style, intelligence, expression, performance, and teaching. Now combine this. Moon as career indicator. Aquarius as the sign. 5th house as the field. What do you get? You get a child whose professional joy may come from creative education, youth psychology, emotional learning systems, social innovation, community impact, child development, counseling, alternative education, edtech, creative teaching, and helping younger minds understand themselves. This is a very important placement for parents to understand. A child like Jennifer may not just want to learn, she may want to help others learn. She may be drawn to children, youth, communities, creative groups, or emotional learning spaces. She may like subjects where human feeling meets futuristic thinking, psychology with technology, education with creativity, counseling with social reform, youth coaching with emotional mapping, content creation with healing. This is why intelligence mapping is powerful, because instead of asking should she become an engineer, doctor, lawyer, or banker, we ask, where is her intelligence naturally moving? The answer is not random. The chart shows it. Now comes one of the deepest placements. Saturn as Atmakaraka in Virgo in the 12th house. Atmakaraka is the soul indicator. It shows the deepest lesson, the inner burden, the karmic desire, and the path where the child must mature. Saturn as Atmakaraka makes the person serious from within. Even if they smile, even if they look socially graceful, there is an inner weight, a sense of responsibility, a sense that they must be useful, a sense that they must improve, a tendency to be hard on themselves. Now Saturn is in Virgo. Virgo is analysis, correction, service, healing, method, detail, refinement, problem solving, and the desire to make things better. And Saturn is in the 12th house. The 12th house is solitude, isolation, hidden life, dreams, sleep, intuition, spiritual withdrawal, foreign lands, hospitals, retreats, and the need to process life privately. So Jennifer's soul intelligence is not loud. It is not superficial. It is inward, analytical, service-oriented, and deeply reflective. This gives intrapersonal intelligence. She needs time alone to understand herself. She may absorb too much from people and then need withdrawal. She may not immediately explain what she is feeling. She may first observe, retreat, analyze, and then return with clarity. As a parent, you may think, why does my child isolate? Why does she need space? Why does she go quiet? But through intelligence mapping, I would say, this is not always avoidance. Sometimes this is her processing mechanism. She digests life in silence. She needs private emotional recovery. She may need journaling, meditation, reflective writing, music, quiet study, spiritual practice, or time away from emotional noise. If you keep pushing such a child into constant performance mode, she may burn out. But if you guide her correctly, this same 12th house Saturn Virgo becomes a gift for psychology, healing, research, therapy, institutional service, spiritual counseling, medical support fields, mental health spaces, retreats, NGOs, writing, and deep analytical work. This is why I always say, do not judge the child only by classroom behavior. Some children perform in noise. Some children awaken in silence. Jennifer is one of those children whose deepest intelligence may activate in private reflection. Now look at K2 in Taurus in the 8th house. This is a very deep placement. The 8th house is hidden knowledge, transformation, trauma, inheritance, secrets, occult, psychology, death, rebirth cycles, and deep research. K2 is detachment, past life memory, subtle perception, and the ability to cut through illusion. Taurus is value, security, food, voice, body, possessions, family stability, and self-worth. So Ketu and Taurus in the 8th house can make Jennifer deeply curious about hidden emotional security patterns. Why do people cling? Why do people fear loss? Why does money create power? Why does the body store pain? Why do families carry unspoken trauma? Why does love become possession? This is not ordinary academic curiosity. This is existential intelligence and investigative intelligence. Jennifer may be drawn to subjects like astrology, psychology, trauma healing, somatic therapy, family systems, occult studies, spiritual counseling, financial psychology, or relationship transformation. If you see a child asking deep, strange, intense questions, do not dismiss them as too much. That may be the exact doorway to their genius. Now let us bring Jupiter into the map. Jupiter is in Aries in the 7th house. Jupiter is wisdom, teaching, guidance, values, ethics, mentoring, philosophy, and expansion. Aries is direct action, leadership, courage, initiative, and the willingness to begin. The 7th house is other people, clients, partnerships, public interaction, relationships, and one-on-one engagement. So Jennifer has a strong placement for coaching intelligence. She may become confident when advising others. She may be direct in guidance. She may attract people who need courage. She may be good at helping someone take the first step. But this also means she must learn patience. Jupiter in Aries can become impatient with emotional confusion. She may think, why are you not acting? Why are you stuck? Why don't you just decide? So as a child, she needs training in compassionate guidance. Not just giving advice, listening first, understanding first, then guiding. If trained properly, this can become relationship coaching, counseling, mentoring, teaching, leadership development, youth guidance, or public advisory work. Now Mars in Leo in the 11th house. Mars gives action, courage, drive, competitiveness, and execution. Leo gives leadership, performance, recognition, creativity, and pride. The 11th house gives networks, gains, social circles, communities, group influence, and long-term goals. So Jennifer may have social leadership intelligence. She may be motivated in groups. She may enjoy leading projects, organizing communities, speaking to audiences, working with teams, or becoming visible in a network. Mars in Leo in the 11th can give the desire to make an impact, not quietly only, but through influence, through presence, through groups, through platforms, through communities. This is very useful in modern careers. Content creation, social impact leadership, digital communities, youth platforms, coaching groups, creative networks, and advocacy spaces. So when I put the whole chart together, Jennifer's intelligence map becomes very clear. Her dominant intelligence types are interpersonal intelligence, linguistic intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, existential intelligence, psychological and investigative intelligence. Her strong secondary intelligence types are visual-spatial intelligence, creative educational intelligence, social systems intelligence, counseling intelligence, musical and voice-based intelligence. Her logical intelligence is present, but it is not dry mechanical logic. It is diagnostic logic, research logic, pattern logic, psychological logic. The kind of intelligence that asks, what is the hidden structure behind this problem? Her bodily intelligence is not the primary type, but it may express through presentation, performance, body language, creative movement, stage presence, or leadership energy. Now here's the key insight. If Jennifer's parents only look at marks, they may miss the real map. If they only ask, is she good in math? They may miss the fact that she can read human behavior. If they only ask, can she memorize? They may miss the fact that she can decode emotional patterns. If they only ask, is she competitive? They may miss the fact that she is built for meaningful guidance, not meaningless comparison. This is where ordinary education fails many children. It assumes intelligence is linear. But a child's intelligence is not linear. It is planetary. It is layered. It is emotional. It is symbolic. It is social. It is cognitive. It is spiritual. It is creative. It is hidden in placement, sign, house, conjunction, and karaka. That is why planetary placement as the diagnostic engine gives a superior and direct map. because it does not force your child into someone else's template. It reveals the child's own operating system. For Jennifer, the most suitable fields of study would be psychology, counseling, child development, creative education, learning design, communication, media, writing, branding, visual storytelling, astrology, spiritual psychology, relationship coaching, social impact, youth development, community psychology, and research-oriented humanities. She may also do well in UI/UX research, emotional design, content strategy, documentary research, trauma studies, behavioral science, mythology, comparative religion, or any field where human depth meets structured interpretation. But she may not feel fulfilled in work that is emotionally sterile, repetitive, purely mechanical, rigidly bureaucratic, or disconnected from people and meaning. Could she do it? Maybe. Would she feel alive? That is the better question. When you map intelligence properly, you stop asking only, what career has money? You begin asking, where will this child's mind, heart, and soul create value? Because when a child works through their natural intelligence, success becomes more sustainable. They do not need to fake interest. They do not need to constantly fight their own nature. They do not feel like a misfit. They begin to feel, this is where I belong. And that feeling is priceless. For Jennifer, joy comes from meaningful connection with the world. She will feel connected when she can understand people, explain emotions, create beauty through words or design, guide younger minds, decode hidden patterns, heal pain, study psychology, explore spirituality, and serve in a way that has emotional depth. This is not a child who should be trained only to chase status. She should be trained to develop depth. She should be given language. She should be given reflective space. She should be exposed to psychology, creative writing, counseling, storytelling, music, design, philosophy, astrology, human behavior, social systems, and meaningful service. She should be encouraged to speak, write, observe, question, and create. She should also be taught boundaries, because Libra can over-adjust, Scorpio can over-absorb, Moon in Aquarius can emotionally detach when overwhelmed, Saturn in the 12th can silently carry too much. So the parent's role is not to push harder. The parent's role is to guide smarter. Give her emotional vocabulary. Give her creative tools. Give her solitude without making her feel lonely. Give her responsibility without making her feel burdened. Give her social exposure without forcing people-pleasing. Give her depth without drowning her in seriousness. That is intelligent parenting. And this is the real purpose of intelligence mapping. It helps you stop correcting the wrong thing. Maybe the child is not lazy. Maybe the child is uninspired. Maybe the child is not unfocused. Maybe the child is bored by shallow material. Maybe the child is not antisocial. Maybe the child is emotionally overloaded. Maybe the child is not rebellious. Maybe the child is asking for a path that fits their inner design. When you understand the planetary diagnostic engine, you stop comparing your child with other children. You start seeing the child in front of you. And once you see clearly, you can guide clearly. That is the power of this system. It tells you whether your child is built for words, design, systems, people, movement, music, research, leadership, solitude, healing, technology, philosophy, or transformation. It tells you whether the child learns through action, emotion, image, sound, silence, questioning, competition, or connection. It tells you why one child enjoys coding, another enjoys counseling, another enjoys music, another enjoys design, another enjoys animals, another enjoys strategy, and another enjoys spiritual inquiry. No child is intelligence less, but many children are intelligence misplaced. And when intelligence is misplaced, the child looks average. When intelligence is correctly placed, the child begins to shine. Jennifer's case teaches us this beautifully. Her chart says, do not make her shallow. Do not make her purely mechanical. Do not reduce her to grades. She is a depth communicator. She is a people reader. She is a creative emotional thinker. She is a potential counselor, guide, educator, researcher, storyteller, or spiritual psychological interpreter. Her intelligence is not just in what she knows. It is in what she notices. It is in what she feels. It is in what she can explain. It is in what she can transform. And that is why the right mapping matters. Because the right intelligence map can save years of confusion. It can help parents choose better subjects. It can help teenagers choose better fields. It can help Gen Alpha children grow without losing their natural genius. It can help you stop forcing a child into a path that looks good socially but feels dead internally. So here's my question for you. Have you truly mapped your child's intelligence? Not guessed, not assumed, not compared. Mapped. Have you looked at the planets, the signs, the houses, the karakas, the conjunctions, and the emotional intelligence pattern? Have you understood what kind of intelligence your child actually carries? Because once you do, your guidance changes. Your expectations change. Your communication changes. Your child's confidence changes. And most importantly, the child begins to feel seen. If you are a parent and you feel your child is intelligent but misunderstood, this is where a deep intelligence map reading can help. If you are a teenager or young adult and you feel confused about your direction, this can help you understand why certain subjects excite you and others drain you. If you are raising a Gen Alpha child, do not wait until the child is already burned out by wrong choices. Map the intelligence early. Understand the pattern. Choose the field with clarity. Because your child does not need more pressure. Your child needs accurate direction. And when the direction matches the intelligence, effort becomes joyful. Discipline becomes natural. Learning becomes alive. And success becomes personal, not borrowed. So if you want a deep intelligence map reading that works for your child, your teenager, or your own life path, get in touch with me. Let us decode the real intelligence blueprint. Let us understand the planetary diagnostic engine behind the mind. Let us find the field where the child will not only perform, but feel connected, useful, joyful, and alive. Because the future does not belong to children who are forced into one standard definition of intelligence. The future belongs to children whose real intelligence is recognized early, guided wisely, and allowed to become their contribution to the world.